2025 marks 50 years for the iconic shark movie Jaws. 50 years later, this movie is still one of the most iconic shark movies ever made. In fact, many people have this movie on their top 10 movies list. Today we will be sharing 10 fantastic facts about Jaws. But before I get started, remember to like and subscribe. The term summer blockbuster is a very common phrase nowadays in the entertainment world. But if it wasn't for Jaws, this term may have never been coined. Jaws was released in theaters on June 20th, 1975, and became an instant hit. It was shown on over 464 screens, which quickly jumped up to 700 screens by July. Over 67 million people ended up seeing Jaws on the silver screen, which at that time in America, the country's population was 216 million people, meaning almost a third of the country saw this movie. Jaws features some pretty memorable lines, but one of the most popular lines from the movie was completely ad-libbed by actor Roy Scheider, and that line was,
"You're gonna need a bigger boat."
This movie quote is number 35 in the AFI's top 100 movie quotes. The technology for the shark in Jaws is impressive, even for back in the 70s, but was a very heavy undertaking. The shark was designed and built by Joe Alves and weighed 1.2 tons, or 2,400 pounds, and was 25 feet in length. The filming location of Martha's Vineyard in Massachusetts was partially chosen because the depth of the surrounding ocean was 35 feet for 12 miles offshore, making it perfect for arresting the shark rig on the seabed. The shark is affectionately named Bruce after Steven Spielberg's lawyer, Bruce Raymer. The beginning of a movie is a crucial part to filmmaking, and Jaws may have one of the most horrifying opening scenes of all time. Chrissy's last swim was the moment where people started being afraid to swim in the water at night. Susan Backlini, who portrayed Chrissy, had a harness with cables attached to her legs to achieve the jolting movements. To make Susan's reactions authentic, director Steven Spielberg told the crew not to let her know when they were going to yank her back and forth. Susan passed away just over a year ago at the age of 77 on May 11th, 2024. There are many iconic shots in the movie that we all remember, but there is one particular camera shot that Spielberg took from a legendary filmmaker, and that shot is the first time Martin Brody lays eyes on the legendary shark. This shot is known as the dolly zoom or the Hitchcock shot. The first time this shot was utilized was in the 1958 movie Vertigo. This shot is supposed to give a distorted perspective feel, making it the perfect camera maneuver to use when seeing a gargantuan shark for the first time. One of the most haunting monologues from the movie was not in the original novel, and that monologue was the story of the sinking of the USS Indianapolis. Quint is a rather quiet, mysterious character, and this particular monologue really helps give people a better understanding of who he is. There is some truth to the story of the sinking of the USS Indianapolis in this retelling by Quint, but creative measures were taken by actor and playwright Robert Shaw to spice up the story. Jaws' popularity back in 1975 not only led it to be dubbed the first summer blockbuster, but it brought in a boatload of money. On a budget of $9 million, it raked in $100 million, which made it the highest grossing movie of all time. It held the record for 2 years until Star Wars: A New Hope knocked it off the top spot in 1977. Jaws almost featured a scene paying homage to a very classic movie, Moby Dick. Both movies share the same theme of hunting a monster, but this scene ended up getting cut for a very specific reason. Gregory Peck, who played Captain Ahab, owns the rights to Moby Dick and was never a fan of his performance, so this scene did not make the final cut. Two actors had a very unexpected reunion years after the making of Jaws. Lee Fierro, who played Alex Kintner's mom, walked into a seafood restaurant called the Wharf Pub in Massachusetts and noticed an item on the menu called the Alex Kintner Sandwich. She made a comment to an employee that she played Alex's mom in the movie. Just then the employee got the manager, who turned out to be Jeffrey Voorhees, the guy who played Alex in the movie. They hadn't seen each other since 1975. It was a beautiful mother-son reunion. Sort of. There is a moment in the movie that wasn't even a part of the original script, but due to how wholesome it was, director Steven Spielberg decided to put it in the film. This moment was when Martin Brody's son, Sean, is copying his father's movements at the dinner table, This was added because between takes on the set, actors Roy Scheider and Jay Mello were mimicking each other's funny faces, and Spielberg loved that moment so much, he restaged it and added it to the final version of the movie. Well, there it is, 10 fantastic facts about Jaws. I hope you learned something new. Remember to like and subscribe. See you soon.